Talking with Topher is sponsored by slowdownclothing.bigcartel.com, promo code Topher for 10% off your purchase, New Hampshire Vape Gallery, and naturalbossnh.com. More on that later. Let's get into episode 115. Talking with Topher. Talking with Topher. Talking with Topher. What is happening, TwT fans? It is so good to be back. It's Thursday, June 16th, 2022. And how are all of you doing out there? I have to say that I'm doing well. I'm actually doing pretty well as of right now, which is nice. Taking it day by day, week by week. But before we get into any of that, I want to start off by saying thank you. Thank you for subscribing, watching, sharing, rating, reviewing, all of those things. I greatly appreciate. And I just wanted to thank all of you. If you are new to the podcast, remember to subscribe. It's the one thing I'm asking everybody to do. It's free for you, and it means the world to me. So go ahead and click, slap, lick, stomp on that subscribe button. Of course, there's more you can do. You can set the alarms. You can share, rate, review, and leave comments in the comment section. All of that helps the podcast grow, and I need everybody's help to do that. If you want to get more involved with the podcast, or you, or maybe someone you know that has that story that just needs to be heard, send that on over to talkinwithtopher@gmail.com. That's talkinwithtopher@gmail.com. Of course, if you put slow down in the subject line, you're going to get the opportunity to get some free slow down merch. All right. And again, you can send all of that over to talkinwithtopher@gmail.com. And I'm also on social media. That's right. Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, TikTok, and Facebook. Go there, give a follow. I'm on there every week. Again, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, TikTok, and Facebook. And now with all that out of the way, let's get into today's episode. I've been doing pretty good. And I love the fact that I am feeling pretty good now, that I am happy with myself, and that I have kind of figured things out, and I don't believe that it's over, right? It's never over. It's always going to be something else, or I'm going to have a bad day, or, the list can go on and on and on and on. But being off of alcohol and finding myself and feeling more comfortable in my skin, it doesn't mean the ride's over. It just means that I'm doing okay, that I'm finally treading water, which has helped me tremendously in everything that I do. And I don't think that it's going to be, I don't think anything about that is going to change. I think it's going to evolve. It's going to become easier and easier as time goes on, just like anything. If you do something over and over and over again, it's got to get easier. It's got to get better. But I've been feeling really good. I had a lot of strenuous things happen this week. I dealt with them the best that I could. And the way that I dealt with them, I just had to dive in and get it done. And that's what I've been doing a lot lately, is just diving in and taking the task head on, not allowing anything to get in my way or stop me from doing what I need to do. But so what I'm talking about is I ran into this wonderful incident, last Thursday, where I go to jiu-jitsu every week. on Thursday. At least I try to, unless life gets in the way, of course. But I go to jiu-jitsu in Plastow, New Hampshire. One of our PMA schools is over there. And I was leaving after an amazing class, of course. And I was leaving, and I get home, and I'm like, it's pouring rain. Like, I had to drive in the rain, drive in the rain back, drive to the rain to work, blah, 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 blah. Pouring cats and dogs. It was a crazy morning. But I'm driving home, and I'm like, oh, shit. I took in some water in my basement. I think it was when I had the furnace clean last time. I think that was like Wednesday or something. I don't know. It was last week. And I was like, ooh, I should probably drive slow by my house and see where this water's coming in. So I'm driving, and I see like this waterfall. It's isolated. It's probably about 4 feet wide, and it's just coming down. And I look up at the gutter, and you just see it pouring over the gutter. And I was like, oh, this is not good. So I pull into the driveway, I get my ladder out. Yes, I had to grab my aluminum ladder. It's the only one that'll reach that roof line. And, of course, the entire time I'm like, oh, please do not get electrocuted right now. So I throw the thing up there, and I put it right over the spot that's spilling over. Makes sense, right? So I get all the way up there, and there's nothing. It's nothing. It's just water. And I'm like, oh, my God, obviously it has to do with the drain, not the water overflow. But, something in my mind told me maybe there was some helicopters backing it up, but I should have known better. Anyways, I put the ladder down. I put the ladder back up, go to the corner where the downspout is, and I pull this chunk of shit out, and it just floods all over the farmer's porch. Floods down. It's going into the next downspout, on the farmer's porch, and all of a sudden that stops, and it starts backing up, pouring over. I'm like, oh no. I get down off the ladder. Now I'm climbing up onto the farmer's porch. I'm standing on the handrail, and I'm now trying to reach my hand in, and I feel nothing. And I'm like, oh my God, what is happening? So I get down. And now, actually, no. I stayed up there, and I'm banging on the pipe, banging on it. I hear this whoop. And I was like, oh, good, I got movement. And then all of a sudden, it wasn't enough movement, so all the water pressure backed up again. It's pouring all over me, but now it is like spitting out of every orifice. I mean, screw holes, the seams, everything. I'm like, I'm getting soaked. I'm still banging on the pipe. It's spraying in my face. I'm trying to get this down. And then I finally hear it move again. And this time it slides all the way down to the next bend. And then it just starts bursting out of, again, every screw hole, every seam, except now it's not spraying in my face. So I get down, I go around, and I'm like banging on this pipe. Nothing's coming out. And I finally got frustrated. I mean, at least a half an hour, 40 minutes has gone by. I grab the ladder. I start running that into the garage because I'm like, all right, all the top stuff's done. Let's get rid of this, My dogs need to go out. I let my dogs out. They come back in. I'm like, all right, guys, got to go. I run back out, and now I'm kind of calmed down. I calmed down a little bit. I collected my thoughts, and I was like, well, maybe if I find a way to make a suction, maybe I can get this to freaking drop. So I am out there banging on this thing again. It's not moving. I'm getting little chunks coming out of the pipe. So I start doing like CPR to this thing. And I'm like, boom, 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 boom. And I push it in real hard. You watch the water go up. It slams back down. Now, mind you, the entire time I'm doing this, it's downpouring. Every time I'm pumping this thing, it's just shooting water out of the top. I am completely drenched. And I did this CPR thing a couple times, banged on the pipe some more, got more chunks out, and then all of a sudden, I got I didn't get too angry with it, because I'm like, if you get too angry, you're going to bend the pipe, and you can't replace this pipe right now. So let's stay calm. even though we're getting angry, and I start pushing on it, and I pushed real hard. So I felt that water go up. I heard it slam, and then all of a sudden you hear, whoop, and I get this mass. It was about yay long. I don't know, what is that, 6-7 inches, and it was like a brick. It was the width, the size of my downspout, my gutter. And this thing pops out by my feet, and I'm like, oh, good. And then here comes the water right after it, covering my feet, just getting everything out. And at least now I'm like, okay, now I can go to work, because where that was overflowing was right on the corner of my farmer's porch. And, oh, man, if that kept pouring over, I was like, it could wash out the corner of my farmer's porch, and that's going to be way worse than dealing with a clogged pipe. So I was like, all right, I am going to go to work now. But before that, I the thing spit out at my feet, right? So I pick it up, and it breaks open. And there is brand new life inside that thing. I was like, oh, no. How long has it been since I cleaned my gutters? Well, I think it had been almost a year and a half. Be honest with you. I think I didn't clean out my gutters when we had the trees cut down, and that was August of last year. So, yeah, it has been some time, and I've learned the lesson that was learned from all of this was you gotta clean your gutters. If you don't have the things on top, you don't have them on top, then you gotta go around, clean out your gutters. I did not do that. I paid the price by getting soaked, aggravated, and almost like disappointed that I couldn't get this out of, like, I had brought out a snake, and I was like trying to shimmy it up there, and of course it doesn't do very well around the bends. It does great when you're in a ceramic tube in a toilet, but when you're trying to go up aluminum gutters, and they have to like bend the pipe in to make the other one fit over, so it's not fully. It was a nightmare. It was an absolute nightmare, and what it taught me was to clean out my gutters. So it was a rough lesson, but I will say that my gutters are absolutely 100% clean. When I got home from jiu-jitsu today, I put a new mower blade on. I did a spark plug, did an air filter, and I changed the oil yesterday in the lawnmower, and now that thing is pristine. I was like, why am I not cutting the grass properly, or why does it seem like it's just taking forever? Yeah, I took that blade off this morning. It looked like it was chopping rocks. I was like, oh, well, this is a good reason for you not chopping the grass very good. So I wasn't going to sharpen that thing. I'm like, yeah, you're just trash. So I took care of all that, and then I got up onto the roof with the ladder, went around the entire thing, and I got rid of every inch of debris in my gutters. And I'm like, okay, when fall comes and after the helicopters fall, we're going to be up here again doing the exact same thing. So I got to learn to do this twice a year, make sure it gets done 100%, because I don't want to ever run into that. So, it was a tough lesson learned, but it was a good lesson learned. And that's how I take things now. I take things as, yeah, this is a bad experience. It's horrible. I'm getting soaked, but the good thing is that now I'm going to remember, right? And that's unfortunately how most of us learn, is the hard way, kind of like my entire life with drinking and everything else. And, so I wanted to go over a quick update on what's going on in the vape industry. So surprise, surprise, something we did not even know was happening, because that's how they get away with a lot of this shit, is that they're not letting us know what they're doing, right? Our elected officials that we elect, that get to vote for us, I've never agreed to. I think it's a horrible thing. I don't like having anything being capable of being voted in without our knowledge. And that's what those people allow to happen because we elected them to vote in our favor, right? And I'm sorry, there's not one politician on this planet that actually gives a fuck about any of us. There's not one. I don't care. But what is going on is there was a new tax. So when we order vape stuff for the shop, right? Because you can't have anything shipped to the house, packed, act, blah, blah, blah. You need business license, EIN, and a tobacco license in order to order anything vape. So there was a 10-cent tax on every milliliter. Well, last week, the owner was doing an order, and he was surprised by the amount of taxes that he saw on his invoice. So he was like, hey, this is like double, triple what I pay. And they were like, oh, yeah, well, they just passed a 30-cent tax on all disposables. Now, I had mentioned this in my shorts, kind of throwing it out there, but I want to get into a little bit more of a detailed discussion about it because I think this is it. This is what's going to keep happening, right? They're gonna find any way they can to get what they want, and at the end of the day, they really want nobody vaping or smoking. You know, it's bad. It kills you. But hey, there's so many other things that do that as well that we know about, and they're not doing anything about those, right? So they add this 30-cent tax on disposables, and now when we order disposables, obviously we're going to have to, we can't order X amount of disposables anymore because the tax is so heavy that now you have to order maybe half or 3/4 of what we used to order because now the taxes are going to eat up the rest. And that's frustrating as a business owner, as a vape shop. It makes it harder on the shop. There's no deal on these taxes, but I know that vape shops out there that have multiple stores are getting better deals, but they're not getting the deals that they once were. And so because of that, now you're going to see price increases everywhere on all disposables. And it just sucks because what's going to happen when the next tax that they want to implement doesn't come across, right? We don't get to know about it. It's like I don't like the fact that we got surprised. Why do we have to wait until we're going to check out to find out that now there's this tax on it, right? And we are in New Hampshire. So we don't have the capability of adding the tax at the register. So we have to pay the tax, then we have to add the tax into our price, and then when you buy a disposable, you're paying the tax, you're paying everything. You know what I mean? So in Massachusetts and other places that have state tax, well, you don't really, you have to pay the tax, but you can always add in the tax. You know what I mean? So it's a little bit different than New Hampshire, where we have to kind of like eat it up front, and then the customer pays it back to us later. So it's a weird thing, but the next tax that they're thinking about pushing is a 65% tax on your damn, I'm having a brain fart here. 65% tax on all mods, batteries, coils, pods, everything, all accessories. So I don't know if I'm painting a good enough picture for everybody here, but we were at 10 cents per milliliter. It's still that with the freebase juice and the salt nick. Now, disposables are 30 cents. So that's going to make those more expensive. And then they're going to add 65% tax. It's not 65 cents. It says 65%. That's crazy. I mean, honestly, I can't discuss my wholesale prices, but a mod that say I was selling for $55, well, I think that device is going to be damn close to what? 70 to 90 bucks. I think. If I'm doing it really quick in my head. If you're sitting in front of a calculator, take 55 and add 65% to it. I don't know what you're going to get, but it's not going to be pretty. It's not going to be. So on top of inflation, on top of people losing their jobs, on top of not being able to afford enough gas to get to work anymore, on top of all of this, they're going to add another 65% to all your devices, pods, coils, and everything, which is going to make it even harder for everybody to continue vaping and doing what they're doing, which is why this is making it easier to make it illegal. It's just making it easier. And the people that are doing this are the ones that we elected to do this for us, which is fucking crazy to me. I can't believe this is even true. Why? I don't want to vote for this. I want this voted out. No, we're giving you tax money. We're doing our thing, but 65% on a device? Batteries? What are we doing here? Well, I think I've already painted a pretty good picture of what they're doing here. They are making it so that it's just that much easier to get rid of. And, you know, I think that this is going to hurt everybody even more. And on top of all these things happening, you know, we've got this inflation thing, and I know, here he goes, here I go again. Hey, Topher, always crying. I know, I'm always crying, I'm always upset, but I just don't think we talk about this stuff enough. I'm just trying to get the message out there, and I know I'm not the only one speaking of this, but I am one of the few that's speaking about the vape industry becoming, you know, completely a target from our government, and it just makes me sad and mad. But hey, you know, maybe you're doing me a favor, because if this all does go down, well, I mean, I can't really afford the gas to get to work anymore anyway. So maybe I'll just join everybody on unemployment when you eventually close my doors and tell me I'm not allowed to work anymore. Well, I'm just going to file for unemployment at that point. Because if you won't allow me to do the job that I'm doing, then what job am I supposed to do? You tell me what I'm supposed to do, right? Is that where we're at today, where we want to be told what to do by our government? I mean, I don't personally, but I feel like that's what they're trying to do to us, you know? So that's what's going on in the vape industry. And it's very sad, and it makes me very angry. But I've said this before too. Just be thankful, you know, because we always got to find a little bit of hope and a little bit of light in everything. Just be thankful that we haven't legalized marijuana here in New Hampshire yet, because I'm pretty sure once they do that, we're no longer going to have flavors either. This is all very frustrating, you know. We get angry about it. We get upset. But this inflation thing is absolutely 100% killing all of us. It's killing us. It's killing our wallets. It's making it harder and harder to do anything. And with the inflation, is going to come recession. There is going to be nothing we can do about it. It's going to get to the point where the federal government is going to have to implement a recession to stop the inflation. And if you do that, everybody's like, oh, well, that sounds great. It is, but it isn't. And the reason is because once they say that we're in a recession, yes, it's going to help with the inflation because they won't be able to inflate anymore. But now there's going to be less jobs because that's what happens. If inflation is happening and everybody can't afford to buy anything anymore, and then all of a sudden the federal government or internal, the IRS, whoever has control over this, I believe it's the IRS. Don't quote me on it, though. Do your own due diligence, as always. But I'm pretty sure if they say, hey, we're in a recession now, well, yeah, inflation stops, but so does demand. And when demand goes down, boom, now people start losing jobs again. And that's what we're headed for. But don't get excited if they do put us in a recession, because now your job knows that there's not as much demand as they once thought. And a lot of the corporations, retailers, and everybody is starting to realize this because why? Well, they've got too much stock. Not stock, but it's stock. It's not stock market stock. It's product stock. They got too much. Target's going through this right now. Their stock is going down. But that's because they tried to keep up with demand, but then everything got stuck. It all got stuck. So because everything got stuck on the ships and the containers, well, now, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Now everything from the containers is coming in. My wife was just telling me about this yesterday. She's like, we are so heavily stocked because now we're getting 3-4 shipments a day because they finally unloaded the containers. And I was like, what? And I was like, are you going to turn into Target? And she's like, I think so. So all of this shit's happening across the board to everybody. And just imagine what's going to happen when they finally turn on that switch and they're like, nope, nobody can afford anything. We're in a recession and that's it. Well, now all those places are going to look at their employees like, well, we spent too much on product. That's what I wanted to say. Product, not stock. And then our stock is dropping. But now everybody is hurting too much to buy all of this. So why am I going to keep employees? Because if I keep the employees, well, now my top goes down. And it's just this snowball effect of shit that is eventually going to hit us. And I think it's going to hit us pretty quick. Like, this is not going to be something that's going to take a couple years. I bet you we got 6 months left before we're in a full recession or they decide to do that to us to try and stop inflation. But, man, that puts all of our jobs in jeopardy. And I feel for those people because my job is in jeopardy every single day. But I'll tell you this much. They put me out of work. I'm going to figure this out, and I'm going to be right here 2 to 3 times a week figuring my life out because I'm going to have to go job hunting. I'm going to have to figure out what I'm going to do. It's going to be a nightmare, and I'm just getting prepared for it now. But I will be honest. If I can do anything with my life, it would be to do better at this and do this 2 to 3 times a week to see if I can actually make myself better and get it out there more and see if I could turn that around instead of going and punching a clock for somebody. Because I'll tell you, I'm this close to pulling out my dick on OnlyFans. I really am. But I know that's not going to get me paid. Nobody wants to see that. Nobody wants to see me with my shirt off. You girls are so lucky. I'm sorry. I don't know if this is sexist or what or where I'm going right now, but I am and I'm not. Sorry at the same time. You have amazing tools and you can get paid big bucks to do it. I'm telling you, feet, bathing suits, You girls have a great way of making some money online today if you're just willing to do it. I would be willing to do it, but I'm pretty sure nobody's going to pay for it. Shit. Any chance to put myself down just a meeny bit, I do it pretty good. Slowdownclothing.bigcartel.com. That's slowdownclothing.bigcartel.com. You're not sure how to spell it? It's right here at the bottom of the screen, or click the link in the description below the video. And now, when you go to check out, that's right, TOPHER, put that in the promo code. Before you check out, you're going to save 10% off your purchase. Woo! Yeah! Wah! I'm so excited. I need to thank them. I need to thank all of you. Because of you, I get this to give back to you. So I'm super pumped that you're going to save 10% on these incredible items that are already a great quality product at a great price. You can get them all here. Hats, jackets, skateboards, socks, shirts, bathing suits, beach towels. Oh, it just keeps going. So go to slowdownclothing.bigcartel.com today. That's right now. Don't wait. Don't hesitate. Go to slowdownclothing.bigcartel.com. Put the promo code TOPHER before you check out and get an extra 10% off your entire purchase. And remember, that's slowdownclothing.bigcartel.com. If you're not sure how to spell it, it's right here at the bottom of the screen, or click the link in the description below the video. New Hampshire Vape Gallery is located at 180 Lafayette Road, Seabrook, New Hampshire, down the street from Home Depot and next to Smoke Rings, where we are open 7 days a week from 10:30 to 8 p.m. And feel free to give us a call, 603-814-4171. And not only do we have the chill extracts, that's right, this is 1 gram of your Delta 8 THC PHHC green loose flower, chillum, pre-packed, amazing. But soon, coming soon, is now you're gonna get live resin. This thing is awesome. This is called the Dome Wrecker. That's right. This is 2 different live resins. One's an indica, one's a sativa. They are both HHC. The bottom of the device has a switch on it. You can flip it to one side and vape one side. You can flip it to the other side and vape the other side. Both sides are going to get you high. So you put it in the center, boom, you got a Dome Wrecker. That's right. You're vaping from both sides simultaneously. These things are going to be awesome. You get 3 milliliters of live resin for $50. What a deal, I'm telling you. And now we're also going to be carrying the Looper. Looper is Girl Scout cookies. It is HHC plus D8 plus THCP. It's 1,000 milligrams. These ones I don't have the price on yet, but I love the device. The Looper device is so cool. Nice, slim, easy to use, works great. Tastes great. I mean, these products really will blow your mind. And we're going to have them in stock always. New Hampshire Vape Gallery. We've got it all. You already know I carry everything, and I'm just carrying more and more and more. That's right. Our stock keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. This new legal hemp side of things is awesome. No state taxes and nothing to worry about, right? Perfect. I'm in. So come to New Hampshire Vape Gallery today and see us, the guys at the gallery, where we're going to have all your products in stock, all right? And we're located at 180 Lafayette Road, Seabrook, New Hampshire, down the street from Home Depot, next to Smoke Rings, where we're open 7 days a week from 10:30 to 8 p.m. Give us a call, 603-814-4171. And as always, I look forward to seeing you there. Do you like organic products? Do you love small business? You're not going to get anything else but that from here. That's right, naturalbossnh.com. This website has 5 organic, amazing products. You know, I love a small business. It's one of my favorite things to support, and that's because they just make a better quality product. And you can tell they don't have 500 products to choose from. There are 5, and they're all amazing. You got lip balm. You got body balm. Those are great for bringing moisture back into the skin and keeping it healed. You got salve for when your skin gets dry and cracked, you need to repair it. It's great. They've got a foot and body soak that is just amazing. The beard oil. They've also got one item on discount. That's the Feeling Rosy bath and body soak. So you can get one or all 5 of these products here at naturalbossnh.com. That's naturalbossnh.com. And I recommend buying all 5 of these items because they are that great and you are supporting small business. And now, back to the show. All right, let's get into, I don't know, I think I'm calling this quick hot topics. Quick hitting hot topics. That's what I'm doing today. Quick hitting hot topics. So, my first topic of the day is, well, hey, guns, right? I think where we're heading, in a sense, is not a good place. But I see that they're trying to do something about the guns. They're trying really, really hard to do something about these damn guns. Now, I am not going to play this video because I don't think this is very necessary, just like I don't think that this article is very necessary. And the reason that I say that is because, well, I mean, how can you not know what a gun does to the human body? I can literally explain it to you right now. It tears it apart, it blows it up, and it destroys it. There's very few spots that you can get hit with a bullet where you would get a through and through and be able to recoup from that naturally. But this is a whole article on how the damage to the human body caused by firearms. And I saw this and I was like, but why do we need to know what these do to the human body? I think this is the wrong information to give people because I feel like the people that are doing the shootings, causing this mass hysteria, and doing this to others want to know what the gun does to the human body, because then they're like, oh, okay, well, if this is gonna happen, then I want to make sure my aim's here or there. I just think it feeds these psychopaths' brains. All right, I've got many friends with guns. I've used guns. You all know that I fired off a gun in public. So I'm on the side of a little bit of gun control. I have not tried to buy a gun since that incident, but I'm pretty sure if they do these red flag things, I'll be in there. You know what I mean? And it's fine. I'm supposed to have my right to buy guns back, but I also don't want to try my luck right now. So I don't think this information is the information that we need to be giving people. This feeds those psychopaths, telling them what a weapon's going to do to a person. I just don't think it's necessary. If you don't already know what's going to happen if you point a gun at somebody and pull the trigger, you don't need a gun. If you do not understand what those do to humans, to animals, to objects, what they do in general, how dangerous they are, how to actually fire them, how to hold them, how to clean them and take care of them and maintain them. If you don't know any of this, first of all, you don't need a gun. If you only know a couple of those things, well, then you really need to educate yourself and learn more. But what are we doing? I feel like this is one of those things that those people that do this are looking for. Now, to go on a little bit more about this gun thing, because I was talking about how the House finally passed. Okay, so the House passes a sweeping gun reform package as the Senate talks continue. So this is, I'm not going to play this because it's 3.5 minutes long, so it's too long. All right, but so this passed, right? Now, there are some places that voted no on this, stuff like that, and I just think that this is okay, right? I do agree, and I think this is kind of wrong, but right at the same time. Because I also think that we should start drinking earlier. I really do. I think drugs should be legal and you should be able to try them, stuff like that, maybe with your parents. I don't know. But a lot of countries drink and do things when they're younger so that when they get older, it's out of their system instead of having a bunch of adults running around being fucking idiots. So I agree with that, but at the same time, I'm like, I don't think it would work here, right? So I agree that almost everything should be 21 across the board at this point. I don't really think there should be anything left at 18, right? We all pretty much agree that 18 is still too young. The brain's not fully developed until you're 25. I think for women it might be different, but who gives a shit? We'll just say 25. So this is going to make it not so that it's 21 plus. No. So that they do more extensive background checks on anyone under the age of 21. Now, there's a few other things in here as well. What was it? There's a few other things tied into this too. The one thing I did agree with is that if you don't agree with it, say your state does not agree with this, they don't have to implement it. It's called red flag something. So there'll be a whole bunch of other like red flag incidents. Like you got to go through checks. You got to get through hoops. You got to go through all these red flags in order to get your gun under the age of 21. And I'm just fine with that. They didn't make any guns illegal during this one that I found. So I was okay with that. But I do believe that this is going to be implemented in certain states. Now, states like Texas will not do this, but I don't think it's a bad idea. I don't know what to do about the gun problem. When you have more guns than people, what do you do? You know? And it's like you can keep keeping these guns away from them, but is that going to help the illegal guns coming in and getting distributed? Is that going to make a demand for those more? And are we going to flood our streets with more illegal guns that aren't documented, registered? They're just showing up. You know, I don't know much about these ghost guns, but is it going to drive up the increase for those? So we have to remember every time that they do something to tighten things up and make them either more illegal or whatnot, that creates a higher demand for the illegal side of things. And I think that's a problem. I don't want, it's just like drugs. Drugs shouldn't be illegal because then hopefully we wouldn't have fentanyl problems and everything else, because we could get the shit legally and hopefully uncut with fentanyl. You know what I mean? Like, nobody should be buying benzos and Adderall and shit like that. Don't buy that from Mexico. Don't buy it on the cheap. Go to your doctor. Get it from a pharmacy, because otherwise you're taking a real fucking chance with fentanyl. And that's because drugs are illegal. Well, you keep doing the same thing to guns, you're just driving that market up. So even though I don't disagree with this, because I'm at the point now where something needs to be corrected here. And that was the other thing. There was the mental health side of it. There's going to be more, I don't know if it's money or what, but they're going to be more open to helping people with mental illness, which is completely and absolutely necessary, right? Mental illness floods the homeless. Mental illness is causing, I believe, a lot of these shootings. Mental illness is a serious thing that needs to be dealt with. But when you leave it up to the person that's mentally ill, like you're not, if you're a doctor and you're like, oh my God, this person's mentally ill and needs to be put in a hospital, they're like, no, you can't do that. You're not allowed to put them in there. They're only allowed to put themselves in there. But those people are mentally ill and they don't want the help. So you're in this weird area. So I'm hoping it's going to help with that. Maybe if a doctor assess you and they're like, "Ugh, you got some issues, we need to look into this further." You know what I mean? But that opens up another door. What's going to stop a doctor for just saying, he's mentally ill? That's it. Lock him up. Because I believe that's what they're afraid of, right? So no matter what you do, right? Because I need to do something. Well, doing something doesn't mean we're always doing the right thing. It just means that we're doing something. So if that is true, is this a good thing? Is it a bad thing? Is it good to help out the mentally ill? Is it okay? Like, I just don't know what other doors this is opening and what doors this is closing. So I really do hope that the bill is something that is actually useful. And I always hope for this, but I always get let down. You know, it always helps the people that don't need it. You know what I mean? Whenever they do something, they change something, it's supposed to be good for all the people, and it's never good for us. It's always good for the people in power. And I think that's where the problem lies, is that those people have too much power and they care about themselves too much, and then they don't give a shit about us. And they're like, whatever feeds me, you know, I don't care about fucking 350 million people. I only care about me. So we'll see what happens on that. But yeah, I thought this was crazy. So I thought this was interesting. So the FDA advisors support Novavax COVID-19 vaccine for authorization, right? And everybody has been like, oh, wait till Novavax comes out. And I was like, what makes it so great? Well, there's something special about Novavax that I do not understand, and I'm not going to try and even explain it to you because I'm a fucking dum-dum. But what I can tell you is that while they were talking about this Novavax, all of a sudden, its stock started going up after they endorsed its shot, and then they had to halt. They had to halt the stock market. I'm like, I don't know what this means. I found it to be interesting, though. Why would you halt it if it's going up? We have so many stocks right now and just going down. They're plummeting. I mean, my crypto is like dead. I'm super mad about it. I don't see it coming back at all, which is kind of scary. I'm like, what is it? What's happening, right? But why would you shut them down because of this? Now, if I read it's a good company, it's tested, they're shot. But I also heard that it wasn't as effective as they thought it was going to be. So none of these article titles actually talk about anything that I've already read up on. that it was trying to be released, but it couldn't. And then it was supposed to be good, and then it wasn't. And now their FDA is saying, yes, it's good again. The stock market goes up, or that stock goes up. And then the stock market goes, whoa, 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 pump the brakes on that stock. We can't be having this right now. So what does all of this mean? And I know. You're probably like, well, why don't you tell me what it means, right? Tell me what it means. I don't know what this means. You know, I'm still confused on why they're saying any of these vaccines are good for kids, like they're effective. They're effective for kids, right? That's what they keep telling us. They are effective. Motherfucker, the kids were never in danger. The kids were safe from COVID. They could catch it. They could get sick from it, but they weren't going to die from it, right? Hold on. But I don't get it. If they couldn't die from it in the first place, why are we vaccinating them? And why are we hyping up that the vaccines are so good for kids? They're so effective. They're keeping them. They were already safe. It's the elderly that really needs to worry about it, or anybody with comorbidities is the nice way I'm going to put it. So how can you say that your vaccine is effective on 5-year-olds when the 5-year-old was already safe from COVID anyways? Unless that 5-year-old had comorbidities, maybe weight issues, you know, or was a 5-year-old and that was 80 years old. I mean, this is fucking stupid now. So I was just mad I was mad at the fact that they keep doing this over and over again. Oh, they're so effective. They're all emergency use, guys, girls, everybody. I know I say guys a lot, and that's fine. I'm going to stick to it. They say all of them are effective. But we all know what the effectiveness is of the ones that we got, right? And we all know that most of us already got COVID after shots, after this. But they're emergency use only. Nothing that goes wrong with any of this falls on them. And that is the biggest problem of all of this. That is what needs to stop. Stop emergency using this shit. One, we're done with COVID. COVID doesn't even fucking exist in my world anymore. It doesn't even exist. Anybody that could have died from it in my family is already fucking dead. So therefore, I don't care anymore, right? My wife's got a couple, but everybody's already had it. I haven't caught it. But you can't keep emergency using something and telling all of us that it's effective when you know that's a fucking straight up lie. It's just a friggin' lie. So what all this Novavax stuff means, I'm unsure. But it's another vaccine under emergency use, and if it fucks you up or kills you, they're not liable. So remember that. All right, my next one. Let's see. Every patient in this experimental drug trial saw their cancer disappear. Now, I thought this was really neat. I don't know the name of the drug. Let me see if there was a clinical trial found that every single it's for rectal cancer patient who received an experimental immunotherapy treatment had their cancer go into remission. What? Are we finally at the point in time where cancer could actually be, I don't know, less than? Wouldn't that be amazing? I think this is pretty goddamn amazing. I'm not gonna lie to you. I do not know the name of the drug. There's only been 14 patients up to date. They were given 6 months of treatment. The drug was called DOSTARLIMAB. I don't know. It's from a pharmaceutical company called GlaxoSmithKline, which helped refund the research. But the cancer vanished in every single one of them, undetectable by a physical exam, endoscopy, PET scan, or an MRI scan. Could not find their cancer. What? Is this not incredible news? I mean, am I by myself here? I was blown away. Blown away. Could we actually be at the point in time where we're gonna get some cancer gone and never have to worry about it again? Colon cancer is a giant killer. My dad's brother died of colon cancer. Very sad. I think he was only 45. And I was like, Jesus Christ, because we were talking about it a couple weeks ago. And my dad's like, yeah, did you ever realize that Chuck was fucking like 45 when he passed? And I was like, no, really? He's like, yeah, it's fucking 20 years ago, like, you know, whatever day it was. And I was like, holy shit. And I was like, that's crazy that he was only 2 years older than me. Now he's half, and I already got my colonoscopy when this all went down. Actually, doctors were like, I don't know why you're doing this so early, but it doesn't matter anyways, because it used to be 50. And I do believe they dropped it down to 45 or 40 now. So I got mine when I was like 35. You know, it doesn't hurt. It's not weird. Just go get it done if you need to get it done. But I was like, this is absolutely amazing. What a breakthrough. I mean, this is something to be celebrated. This needs to be celebrated. And I'm celebrating it right here. This one's for science. Oh, man, what we got next? This was pretty funny. So a man did not disclose his HPV positive status before engaging in unprotected sex in his car. And now Geico is on the hook for the settlement. Why? That's auto insurance. He didn't disclose his disease. So how does this fall on Geico? Now, I didn't read, obviously, because I just started laughing. And I'm like, I don't understand how this works. But I hope Geico gets out of this. Because if anybody should be getting sued right now, it should be that asshole for doing what he did to her. But maybe because it took place in a car, she was like, "Oh, this is a vehicle thing, and I'm gonna put a claim in with your insurance." Or maybe the guy was like, "You know what? Just sue Geico, and the insurance company will take care of it. No big deal." But it's for $5.2 million. Woo! $5.2 million. What the fuck? Now, there was a few cases about a few things where I think there was like a guy who lost a ball, and I think he came in at like, $300,000, and they ended up giving him like $100,000 for his ball being removed unnaturally. But the lawyer was like, we got to go in high, and then you might get what you want. So is that one of those deals? But I just wouldn't have believed this if I didn't read it with my own eyes. Here's how it went down. A woman identified in court documents as MO was in a relationship with a man identified as MB and owned a vehicle insured by Geico around this time. And shall we say, engaged in physical activities inside the vehicle. Fast forward to February, where she submits a petition to Geico. She alleges that she contracted HPV and a sexual transmission infection and associated with increased risks of cervical cancer through sexual contact with MB, who was now her ex. The woman claimed MB knew he had HPV. Wait a minute. If they were already in a relationship, this is unworthy. Geico declined to settle with MO in the court documents. The insurance company says what happened did not arise out of normal use of the vehicle. Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying, dude. Geico's going to throw this out because there's no way. It's not a vehicle accident, you douchebag. All right, moving on. So there was 2 people rescued from a chocolate tank in Pennsylvania at the Mars Company. 2 people Thursday became trapped in a chocolate tank. What? I was like, oh no, I hope it was empty. And they fell into the tank. First responders were called to help cut a hole in the tank to free the people. Dispatchers, the tank had some chocolate in it at the time of the incident. The chocolate was believed to be about waist high. Now, I don't know. Are you in that tank? I don't know. You eating it? You eating it? I'm eating it. I'm doing it. I've already fell in it. It's over. The whole thing's ruined. So I'm going to eat some of this while I'm in here because I bet you that's so good. I mean, milk chocolate for me is deadly. But not in the sense that it's actually going to physically kill me, but as in the fact that my asshole is going to get ripped apart and be destroyed, 100%. So I just thought this was funny. I was like, oh, shit, you know. They got him out. They rescued him. They're safe. And, of course, they had to throw away all the chocolate and get some new chocolate. When will we be able to 3D print organs, and who will be able to afford them? So this is where we are. We are at a crazy time. So they are trying to 3D print organs so that you don't have to take them from organ donors. We don't need to wait for people anymore, which I think is also going to be a great thing because, you know, people right now are not giving up as much blood. They're not becoming organ donors because a lot of people still are in fear of getting into a car accident, the EMT or whatever, seeing that donor thing on your license. Now, this used to be an actual thing back when I was a kid. When I got my license, I was told by every adult, do not put that on your license because if you're severely injured, they may not choose to save you because now they can save somebody else, give somebody an eye, give somebody a lung, give somebody that's dying a heart, and they can rip you apart because you're an organ donor. I don't know if it's the same today as it was when I was 16, which was, 2006. But that was the thing. Everybody was, 1996, idiot. But that was what I was told. That's the way it was. And if they can do this, if they can actually print your organs, that'd be so dope, right? You're like, I don't know, would alcoholics be able to have their liver replaced? And since you're replacing it with your own liver, would it be okay to destroy it again? And you just keep replacing your liver? And this is the first step before we get into, you know, robot body parts, which they should already be working on anyways. I mean, the robots are doing great, so why don't we figure out how to get their parts onto us? And I mean, I just saw a thing, and I don't have this pulled up, but I just saw a thing where a guy had no arms and had both of them put on. Like he got 2 arms from, I don't know if it was Godiva or if it was what, but it was definitely crazy looking. You know, the stitches and everything else. But they put 2 fucking arms on that dude. He's got a left and right arm with hands in full motion now. Technology is amazing when it works, and it sucks so much when it doesn't. But I think this is going to be cool. Nobody's going to be able to afford them right off the bat. It's going to be like, you know, touch phone, computers. It's going to be like everything. Like our big giant TVs that were thousands of dollars, and now you can get them at Walmart for $100. Well, actually, no, they're like $300 now, which is still a lot cheaper. Come on. Let's see here. And this is back into the robots. So now robots can now be built with living human-like skin. And because I'm a moron and I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, I was like, I have to see this. So I'm going to play this one.
And our tech lead, while beauty may only be skin deep, researchers at the Institute of Industrial Science in Tokyo have grown human-like living skin on a robotic finger. This high-tech epidermis can repel water and even be repaired using collagen. And while objectively creepy, I think we can all agree on that, experts say human-like features on robots will help androids seamlessly integrate into our lives. Not sure if that's a good or bad thing. For example, instead of clunking around with a heavy metal exterior and imprecise fingers, a robot with skin will be able to pick up household items easily. Now, I do like that idea, but now the head researcher is setting his sights on making the skin self-sustaining, adding veins to transport nutrients, and one day sinking his fingers into adding hair, sweat glands, and even nails.
What? Okay, come on. Woo-wee! I'm sorry, that is fucking wild. That's wild. What? Wow. Wow, that's going to be incredible. It's going to be absolutely incredible. I mean, not only are you going to be able to have a robot arm, but you're also going to be able to have robot skin. Now, I wonder if that would be capable of tying into your skin, but I guess they have to invent it, right? But what the fuck, dude? They're going to give it veins just like we have. They're going to give it hair. I mean, we're coming into it, people. This is the future. And the future is now. All right. I thought this one was awesome. I think this is an amazing clip. I just wanted to bring some happiness to this. You know what I mean? I got a lot of doom and gloom right now. Doom and gloom. We got doom and gloom. You know, it's everywhere. It's everywhere. We're looking at it every day. And I saw this and I was like, you know what? This needs to be talked about because this is nice. I thought this was really cool. Let's check it out. I'm going to blow this up on the screen here. And, I mean, we got to have some happiness in this chaos that we call life, right? So check this out. I just thought that was so adorable, so awesome, because it showed a little bit of happiness. There is happiness out there in this fucked up world we are in right now that everybody's looking at going, it's over. It's over. I've done it myself. I'm trying not to do it as much anymore, and I'm trying to embrace some of the happier moments that are happening today. And I just thought this was so cute. This guy, you know, talked to her, whatever, over, Fortnite or something. And and it just turned into so much more than that. And that made me feel good. It gave me some hope. So I'm hoping it does the same for you out there. You know, we all need a little bit of hope. We all need to see that there is some happiness in this darkness that is around us all today. But I thought it was really cool. He managed to pull this off, pull this baddie on Fortnite. She drove 8 hours to see him. So really cool. I just hope it works out. You see these happy things, and they tend to die off as well. I mean, everything kind of does from time to time. But that's the podcast today, everybody. Woo! I hope you had fun. I know I did. Lots of crazy stuff going on in the world. Don't worry too much. I know you can't control what's outside of your bubble, just like I can't control what's outside of my bubble. But it's good to have a lot of this information today so that you're not blindsided by the things going on today. I don't want it. We all need to know. Sharing information, being in the know, understanding what our government's doing behind our back, and understanding that, the world we know today is going to be a little bit more difficult to maneuver than the world we knew, and I can't even say, I'd have to go back to 2019. We're never going to see that world again. Don't get me wrong. I'm not waiting to go back. Remember when we all said we're waiting to go back to how things used to be? I hope everybody out there understands that this ship has sailed. It has sailed so far. So, I want to say thank you to all my subscribers. Thank you so much. I greatly appreciate it. If you are new to the podcast, hit that subscribe button, all right? It's the one thing I'm asking everybody to do. It's free for you, and it means everything to me. If you want to get more involved with the podcast, or maybe you got a video question, or you got that story, maybe you know somebody who's got that story that needs to be heard, you're going to send that over to talkinwithtopher@gmail.com. That's talkinwithtopher@gmail.com. And, of course, if you want to follow me, I'm on Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, TikTok, and Facebook. Again, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, TikTok, and Facebook. And I hope everybody out there has an enjoyable Thursday. I hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend. And as always, I will talk to you later. I'll talk to you later.